let's be honest for a second. Usually when we do these deep dives, there's an energy of addition. We're here to add something to your life.
A new tool, a new habit.
A new way to organize your calendar, yeah. It's usually pretty optimistic.
Do more, be more. That's the standard frequency.
Exactly. But looking at the sources for today, this feels different. The stack of research we have here isn't trying to sell you a productivity system.
No.
It feels more like it's trying to stage an intervention. It's quiet, it's heavy, and honestly, it's a little terrifying.
It should be. If this material doesn't scare you at least a little bit, you probably aren't letting it in.
Okay.
We aren't looking at a life hack today. We are looking in a mirror.
So let's start with the question that really kicks this whole protocol off. It's a question for you, listening right now. Did you wake up today with the exact same thoughts you had yesterday? Did you go through the exact same morning routine?
The same excuses.
The same silent excuses for why you aren't where you want to be?
It feels safe, doesn't it? That routine. It feels like stability. But the source material, it argues that this safety is actually a trap.
A trap? How?
Because if you are running the same script today that you ran yesterday, and the day before, and the month before that,
Right.
well, then your future isn't a mystery.
It's a calculation.
It's a calculation.
And this is what the source calls the terrifying prediction.
Right. If nothing snaps, if nothing fundamentally breaks that loop, we can predict your life 5 years from now with almost 100% accuracy.
And it will be
Identical to your life today. Same financial stress.
Yeah.
Same relationship problems. Same anxieties. You'll just be 5 years older.
and probably a lot more tired.
A lot more tired.
That is a heavy realization. I think a lot of us operate on this vague hope that, things will get better eventually.
But the source is saying, no. Unless you intervene, the trajectory is fixed.
Physics applies to your life too.
Exactly. Objects in motion stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. And that brings us to the core problem with most self-help. It tries to change things from the outside in.
Let's unpack that. Outside in. This is when we buy the new planner, right? Or we download the meditation app, or we join the gym on January 1st.
Yes. And why do those fail? Because they are accessories. You're putting a new coat of paint on a house that has a crumbling foundation.
Okay.
The person buying the planner, the person setting the alarm for 5 a.m., is still the old you. It's the old identity trying to wear a new costume.
You cannot build a new life on top of an old identity.
The structure will collapse.
Right.
Every time. The old identity, the one that prefers comfort, the one that's terrified of failure, it will eventually reclaim the driver's seat.
So what we're discussing today is the protocol.
The one-day protocol specifically.
This isn't a 30-day challenge. It's not a year-long transformation. It's a 4-phase system.
Designed to be executed in a single solitary day.
And the goal isn't to make you feel motivated.
Motivation is cheap. The goal is to shatter the autopilot, to break the trance you've been living in.
And it uses some weird psychological levers to do this.
3 very specific levers: disgust, interruption, and play.
Disgust, interruption, and play. It's a strange combination, but I think as we go through this, it'll make sense. And I want to reiterate what you said earlier. This is a red pill moment. We are asking you, the listener, to look at the reality you are sleepwalking into and decide right now if that's where you want to end up.
So let's walk through this day. Phase 1, this happens in the morning, immediately after you wake up, the first 30 to 60 minutes.
And the setup is strict, no phone, no laptop,
Just pen and paper. That analog connection is non-negotiable.
Why is that so important?
Writing by hand slows the brain down. It forces processing. You can't just skim when you write by hand.
Yeah.
And the prompt for this morning session is called the anti-vision.
The anti-vision. When I first read this, I thought, okay, write down what I'm afraid of. I might be broke. I might be lonely.
But the source stops you right there. It says vague fears are useless.
They're just abstractions.
Exactly. You can ignore abstractions.
Yeah.
The source demands you write the scene. You need to engage your senses. You need to write a raw, brutal description of your life 5 years from now if absolutely nothing changes.
We should probably give people a sense of the depth here. The examples in the source material were, honestly, they were hard to read.
They need to be painful. One example was something like, I'm 45 years old, I'm sitting on the same couch, I'm 40 pounds heavier, and my knees ache when I walk up the stairs.
That's visceral.
I'm scrolling on my phone for 3 hours because I can't stand the silence in the room.
Wow. And here's another one about relationships. I haven't been intimate in months because I can't stand looking at myself in the mirror. My parents look at me with quiet disappointment because they know I settled. My friends stopped inviting me out because I always say no.
It's brutal. And the instruction is to keep writing until you feel actual physical nausea. You want to induce a state of recoil.
But why? Why start a transformation with something so dark? We're always told to visualize success, right? Vision boards, tropical beaches.
Ferraris.
Yeah. Why are we starting with the nightmare?
Because of biology. This is evolutionary psychology 101. As a species, we are not wired to chase happiness. Happiness is a luxury. We are wired to survive.
We run away from tigers much faster than we run toward a fruit tree.
Much faster. So we are more motivated by avoiding pain than we are by chasing pleasure.
Twice as motivated, according to some of the studies.
Loss aversion is powerful. If I tell you, do this hard work and I'll give you a cookie, you might do it if you're hungry.
Right.
But if I tell you, do this hard work or you will lose your hand, you will move instantly. You will find energy you didn't know you had.
So the anti-vision it's weaponized disgust.
That is the perfect term for it. Most people try to motivate themselves with weak fuel, hope, desire. Wouldn't it be nice?
That burns out by Wednesday.
It does. But disgust, the terror of a wasted life, that is rocket fuel. If you can clearly see the lonely, unhealthy, regret-filled future waiting for you, you will sprint away from it.
And the protocol says you don't just write it and then throw it away. You don't burn it for catharsis.
No, you fold that paper and you put it somewhere you have to see it. Tape it to the bathroom mirror, put it on the fridge.
You don't get the luxury of forgetting.
No. You have to look at that anti-vision every single day for a wink. You have to remind your brain, this is the cliff. This is where we are going if we don't turn the wheel.
Okay. So that's the morning. You've woken up, you've confronted the nightmare, you're unsettled, probably a little sick to your stomach.
Hopefully.
Now we move into phase 2. This lasts the entire rest of the day. The source calls this question everything.
This is where we shift from vision to action, but not massive action, micro action.
Right.
The problem, as the source notes, is that the brain runs on autopilot about 95% of the time.
Which makes sense energetically. It saves calories to just do what you always do.
Exactly. You aren't making choices. You are executing subroutines. You drive to work and don't remember the trip. You eat the bag of chips without tasting them.
You scroll social media without looking at the pictures.
Phase 2 is about forcing a manual override on your own operating system.
It's about becoming conscious. And the tactic here is, well, it's annoying.
It is incredibly annoying. That's the point.
The tactic is to catch yourself in these routine actions, mundane stuff, and ask one of 3 specific questions. Question 1, is this the person I actually want to be right now? Question 2, why am I really doing this? And question 3,
what would the version of me who escaped that dark future do instead?
And you have to apply this to the small stuff. That's the key, right?
Okay.
It's not just for big career decisions.
No, it's when you're brushing your teeth, when you reach for your phone the second you wake up, when you're about to eat something that you know makes you feel sluggish.
Or social obligations, that moment you're about to say yes to something you don't want to do just because it's polite.
That is a huge autopilot moment. You say yes, because that's the script. The polite person says yes. But if you stop and ask, is this the person I want to be? Someone who values other people's expectations over my own time?
The answer might be no.
The answer is probably no.
The source recommends setting a literal alarm on your phone to go off every hour. An alarm labeled, "Who am I being right now?"
I know a listener hears that and thinks, I can't do that. That sounds exhausting.
It sounds like it would ruin your flow.
But you have to understand, the flow you are protecting, that is the sleepwalk. That flow is the current carrying you toward the anti-vision.
The annoyance is the signal.
If it's annoying, it means it's working. It means you are breaking the trance. You are waking up.
It's the opposite of something like atomic habits, where we try to make things seamless. This is deliberately abrasive.
Because seamless got you into this mess. By the time night falls, if you have done this correctly, you haven't just had a normal day. You have made dozens, maybe hundreds of micro corrections.
You've denied the impulse to scroll. You've chosen the protein over the sugar. You've spoken up.
You have walked a completely different path for 12 hours.
You've proven to yourself that the autopilot can be turned off. You've broken the script.
Exactly. You've created a new evidence base for your identity.
So, you spent the day interrupting your patterns. Now comes the evening. Phase 3, you sit down with pen and paper again. This session is about 45 minutes.
And the goal is to uncover real desires.
Now, most people think they know what they want. I want to be rich. I want to be famous. I want six-pack abs.
The Instagram desires.
Precisely. We are so conditioned by society, by our parents, by algorithms, that we don't actually know what we want. We know what we think we should want.
We are climbing ladders that are leaning against the wrong walls.
So the protocol gives us a filter. 3 conditions to find the truth. You have to ask, what would excite me to get out of bed if? Condition 1, no one would ever know. Condition 2, money was not an issue. And condition 3, failure was impossible.
That first one, no one would ever know. That is the ego killer.
It really is. It destroys the performative aspect of success.
Think about it. If you couldn't post about it, if no one would ever clap for you, if you wrote the book but no one knew it was you, would you still want to do it?
Yeah.
That question strips away all the validation seeking.
It reveals the raw, maybe selfish, maybe embarrassing truth. Maybe you don't want to be a CEO. Maybe you just want to build furniture in a quiet shop.
Maybe you don't want to travel the world. Maybe you just want a garden.
Right.
The source encourages you to write it all down, no filter. But then, how do you know which ones are the real ones?
There's a physical indicator.
The chest tightening.
Explain that.
The source says you read the list back to yourself slowly. The brain can lie. The brain is excellent at rationalization. But the body is honest.
Okay.
When you read a desire that is truly yours, especially one you've been repressing or are afraid to admit, your body reacts. Your chest tightens. Maybe your stomach flips. It's a mix of fear and excitement.
So you circle those.
You circle the 3 that make your body react. Everything else is just noise. Those 3 are your coordinates.
Okay, let's look at the map we've drawn. Morning. The anti-vision, the hell we are running from.
All day. The interruption breaking the sleepwalk.
Evening. The real desires. The heaven we are running toward. Now, phase 4. The final 30 minutes before bed.
This is where we synthesize everything. This is where we turn this into a sustainable engine.
Turn life into a game.
Yes.
Now, I can hear the skepticism. I'm an adult. I have a mortgage. I don't want to play pretend.
I get that. It sounds childish. But consider this. The most successful people on the planet, the innovators, the elite athletes, they're all doing this. They just don't use the terminology of role-playing games.
They use business terms.
They call it KPIs, milestones, quarters, stock options. They are tracking data, hitting targets, and getting rewards. The mechanic is exactly the same.
So gamification isn't about playing.
It's about creating a feedback loop that makes discipline addictive.
So how do we build this specific game for ourselves? The source is very specific about the structure.
First, you're the protagonist. You have to dissociate slightly from your current self. You are a character you are leveling up.
And the anti-vision from the morning.
That is the bad ending. That is the game over screen. If you drift, that is where the game sends you.
And the real desires.
The legendary ending. The quest creates the bridge between the two. You have your main quest, say, start my own business. Then you break it down into daily quests.
And the source is strict here, not a to-do list of 20 items.
No. 3 non-negotiable actions. Just 3. Maybe it's write 500 words, make 1 cold call, exercise for 45 minutes. If you do those 3, you win the day.
And then there are boss fights.
The scary milestones. The things that usually paralyze you. The first time you publish your work. The first time you ask for a sale.
So instead of viewing these as stressful events, you reframe them.
You reframe them as boss fights. They're supposed to be hard. You're supposed to be nervous. If you aren't nervous, it's not a boss fight.
The part I found most interesting and most practical was the reward mechanism. The source argues that in real life, the delay between action and reward is too long.
That's the gap. You go to the gym today, you don't look fit tomorrow. You look fit in 6 months. The brain hates that gap.
Right.
In a video game, you kill the monster, you get the gold immediately. So the protocol says you have to artificially create that short-term feedback.
You have to hack your own dopamine.
Exactly. Complete a daily quest. You get a reward, a specific coffee, a favorite song, 20 minutes of guilt-free gaming. You teach your brain. Hard work equals immediate good feeling.
And the flip side.
If you skip a quest, you lose XP. You have to feel the loss. You have to acknowledge that you have taken a step toward the anti-vision.
It effectively gamifies the struggle. Instead of discipline being a burden, it becomes a grind for the next level.
It changes the emotional relationship with hard work. You aren't suffering, you are leveling up. It sounds trivial, but that semantic shift can change your entire biochemical response to stress.
So, Let's step back. We have a complete ecosystem here. You start with disgust to create urgency.
You spend the day interrupting the autopilot with conscious questions.
You spend the evening finding the truth about what you actually want. And you finish by building a system to get there.
And notice what isn't there. There is no hope. There is no waiting for motivation to strike.
It's mechanical.
It is structural. It's an intervention you perform on yourself.
The source ends with a reality check, though. It says you won't wake up tomorrow as a brand new person.
No, that's the Hollywood myth. You don't do a montage and suddenly you're fixed. But if you run this protocol, you will wake up as someone who has started becoming a new person.
And that distinction matters.
It matters because of momentum. The hardest part of space travel is getting off the ground. It takes the most fuel just to move the first few inches. Once you stop the drift, even for one day, you prove to yourself that the script can be rewritten.
It's the difference between being a passenger in a car headed off a cliff and finally grabbing the steering wheel. You might still be near the edge, but you are driving now.
And that is the terrifying prediction we started with, flipped on its head. If you grab the wheel today, the prediction changes. 5 years from now, doesn't have to look like today.
The source has a very specific call to action for you, the listener. It's not just, think about this.
No, it is an instruction. It says, pause this deep dive. Pick a day, ideally tomorrow. Clear your schedule as much as you can and run the protocol exactly.
Do not modify it.
Do not soften the anti-vision because it hurts. Do not skip the hourly alarms because they are annoying.
You don't need another year of drifting. You don't need another self-help bug.
You need one day of decisive action.
One day where you stop lying to yourself about where you are headed.
So here's the final thought to leave you with. If you do nothing after listening to this, if you just let the next track play, you have effectively chosen that anti-vision.
Yeah.
By doing nothing, you are casting a vote for the disappointment, the health issues, the regret.
Inaction is a choice.
You are writing your future right now, whether you pick up the pen or not.
The protocol is there. The choice is yours.
What stands out to you? The fear of the future or the possibility of the game?
Something to mull over in the silence that follows. Good luck.